Hey folks, this is Chris at Art Secret Studio. We're teaching a very beginning painting class, and one of the excerpts I thought was very important for those of you who are struggling learning how to control oil paint and what happens. And there are a couple ingredients or a couple things that actually cause the problem. One is the touch that you have, and I have another clip on that. But this clip we're going to focus on, do you have enough paint on the palette? Because if there's too much fluid on your brush, you've wiped it off, you've dried it, there's still fluid on the brush, and it hits that canvas, there's a good chance that that's the culprit. So I hope you'll like this. If you do, come visit us on our website. We have a whole ton of videos that are being loaded regularly. So to see the greater difference between the light and the dark side, the more realistic it is. So the bigger the white areas are against the dark, the more realistic it looks. Sometimes I can't do that, and sometimes I can. Okay, so now to do the medium area, I'm going to grab my Cad Red from a different color, from the blue red down below. And I washed my brush. So if I'm ever afraid it's still leaping, let me show you something. I'm washing my brush. Okay. There's not enough paint here in the brown to absorb the brush once I've dried it and washed. Watch what happens now. Can you see this? It's a swimming pool. Okay, that's going to run and I won't have any control. So when I wash my brush and I dry it, and I cheated, I didn't dry it as much as I should have, but neither will you until you do that enough and learn. So I'm drying it. Now when I grab it, when I have fluid on my brush, so let's do this again. When I grab it and there's not enough paint here. So when I grab it, it's going to make a pool. See it? There's no controlling your blending with that pool like that. That's just not happening. So I'm going to wash my brush. And there's not enough paint here. Okay. And there's not enough paint here to absorb the fluid. Can I go? There we go. And when I grab it, see the flood? That puddle will not blend. It'll overblend and smear. So when I wash the brush, I need to make sure where I'm mixing my paint, where I'm grabbing from, there's enough paint to absorb the fluid. Does that make sense? That there's a thick enough glob. So now I'm absorbing the fluid, and the brush might have too much paint on it now. So sometimes I've taken the paint, and I hate to waste it, but I've now wiped my brush off, and now I grab my paint, and I'm in control of my blending. So I'm very careful about my brush and how much fluid's on my brush after cleaning it. And you can watch me all day long. You have to be aware of what's going on though. I can only bring it to your attention and you can say, okay, be careful, don't let that happen again. Does that make sense? So those are keys when you're trying to learn how to blend.